what we have is a STIHL BG86 blower, and it was brought to me because it was running and it stopped. That's not a good sign. So I'm going to take it apart and see whether it's froze up from something in the piston or if there's something apart. So that's what I'll be doing next. Taking it all apart. So that's my goal here. So first thing we're going to do, we need to take these covers off here and see what's going on the inside. See if maybe the recoil locked up. Disassembling. And these are Star. They're not Phillips and they're not regular. They're what they call as Torx screws. And that's what I'm taking those off first to get the recoil off. And then we'll also take the spark plug out once we get that off. So we can start seeing what's going on inside. Let me get these off. If there was something dragging that was stopping it from turning, it would be here, maybe the coil or this flywheel. But oh, she just backed up. So let's take the spark plug out. That's a good sign we got movement. Now, is the piston stuck and the rod broke, or is it something else? So let's see if the piston's going up and down. Got a little light right here. So I don't know if you can see that, but the piston is going up and down. So something is hitting pretty solid. It feels like the rod is working correctly. It doesn't feel like there's any resistance there. Let's look at this side. I think I'm going to take this cover off here. It doesn't look like anything in the impeller in here is a problem because you can see it's turning. Whatever it is sounds solid, so I'm gonna loosen this coil up. I'll loosen this coil and see if that's the problem. I don't feel any play in the flywheel either. I don't feel any up and down play on the flywheel. Right, I don't see where the flywheel's been hitting. Oh, I think I see something here. I don't know if you can see this or not, but let me get the light. Down inside there, you can see there's one of the, right in here, there's a piece broke off. A piece of the flywheel. And I don't see it, but I do see metal filings everywhere. Good possibility that piece is floating around in there somewhere. I think we'll pull the flywheel off next. I'm gonna get a piece of rope to shove in the top of the piston so I can press against it. Let me get over here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this piece of rope down into the piston down here, and the piston will come up and push against the top part of the cylinder or the head, and hopefully I can get enough in there that'll jam it up. I can get that thing loose. A little bit smaller rope would be nicer, but we don't have that, I don't think. Oh boy. So the piston is going the wrong way to loosen it. I can't bring it all the way up top to the center from the other side. Oh, look at this. This is loose. All right. Plan B. I was hoping that would just pop off there. It's a real small flywheel, so a lot of times that'll help or that'll work. So I guess I'll have to get my puller out and see if I got a screw that size. So the problem you have with these little flywheels is the distance between here and here. It's real small, and a lot of the pullers that I have are for larger. You can see there's quite a difference between the two here. Mine's that 1 inch will almost cover it. So let me see what else I got. Now the problem is going to be trying to get some screws that'll fit into that. And are they threaded or not? Of course not. So I'm going to take a drill bit, try to find a drill bit that fits that hole so I know what size hole it is, and whether or not I can use one of the drill bits, one of the bolts that I have here. So 5/32. Let's try 11. It's larger than 5/32. It's smaller than 11/64. Let's look at my chart over here. It looks like a 1224 would work, but I don't have bolts for 1224. That was thread. And 420, which I do have, is too big. It would not start. It wouldn't even start. So that's what I have here. 420. Let me see what I got. I got the bolts anyway. That might fit that. Otherwise, we're going to go back to trying to get it off. It worked. I don't like doing that. It's not the best thing to do to get a flywheel off. Pounding on it is on the end of the crankshaft is not the best thing in the world, but a small flywheel like that normally will pop off. But I really would rather have done it with the right way. It's off. So let me get to the front of it. You can see, get more light on it. Maybe it'd be better. See the shininess on there? Hold on a second. There. If you can see the shininess on here, that's where it's been rubbing. So there's a piece missing. Right here under my finger, there's a piece missing. So apparently that broke off and has disappeared. But you can also see that this piece, this right here, this is moving. So that bolt right there down here at the bottom, let me get my thing. This bolt right here is sticking out almost to 1/8 of an inch, whereas these are flush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back these out and I'm going to put some Loctite on and put them back on. I do not see that piece of aluminum that fell off, so it probably disappeared. It's probably what, oh wait, well there it is. That piece right there, that's what broke off. So, oh good, we found it. So I'm going to go ahead and back these off, and I'll take it, put some Loctite on them. We got the blue Loctite. That should make it so it runs. So if you look at this, you can just see where it was shiny on that side. That's where that was hitting. That's what broke that part off, and that's why it stopped. These aren't real loose, but they are loose. So we're going to Loctite them all. So this number, let me get there. Thread locker blue. The red is like for permanent, and this is so you can disassemble it again. And you only put on a little bit. That's way too much right there. I got enough there for two bolts. So I'll put some on that one. And it's a plastic. It dries, and it kind of makes the threads keeps some vibration from turning them. That's what's happened over time. The heat and the vibration, that screw has backed itself off. And with it being 2-cycle, they've got quite a bit of vibration in them. That's why they put all that dampening in them. Now there is a torque spec for all this stuff, but you just don't want to. You don't want to under tighten them, and you don't want to over tighten them. I've done this enough times tightening bolts, and then I pretty well got a sense of what it should be. If you over tighten it and if you strip out the aluminum, it's done. But if you don't tighten it enough, it's going to loosen up again. And I'm sure that the torque specs for this is in inch-pounds, which isn't a lot. A little tiny screw like that doesn't take much. Now, if oil had gotten down into those holes or onto these threads, you'd want to clean that off before you put the Loctite on it. And I'll probably take and clean that up a little bit right there. I think I got a brush right here. So I'm going to get all the debris out of here too while I'm at it. All that debris that gets on there, that dust and stuff, that it can hold the heat on the motor. So get it off. All right, we'll put this flywheel back on. Dust on the inside of that and around this. Now, just so you know, this thing can get rotated. So if you can see this, there's a keyway right there, and inside the flywheel is a key, and that's where the timing is. Because if that key was out of there and you just put this on, tighten it down, it would you won't be able to get the timing right, because you can see this turning now, and I can hear it's got compression. So I'm going to put this back on there, and it does not have a lock washer, so I think I better put a little bit of Loctite on that too. Just a little bit. I'll put it on the nut. Just a small dot. And I won't put that on with the impact wrench. Now, I wasn't pushing against these thin pins. I was up against the thicker one where the magnet was. And that's ready to go back together. Spark plug and all. So looking at the spark plug is a little bit fouled. I'll clean that up a little bit. And it's not burnt. It's been burning clean around there, but it's just running a little bit rich. And now you can see it's cleaner, much cleaner. Oops. What I used there was I use a brass brush, and then I also use brake clean. It's a good degreaser. You're probably wondering, why am I putting the spark plug in? Do I have that much confidence in what's going to happen here? Yeah. If it was running and it just quit and now it's running, or I found that, I got a good feeling that that problem's been found and fixed. And I'm glad too, because if it would have been the piston that was broke, it would be junk. But this is going to run again. This is more dusty, you know. Get rid of all this around the carburetor and all that stuff, all that debris that's in there. Good time to clean it while it's apart. I could use air on it, but it just blows it all over the place. A brush works pretty good. Brushing maybe a little bit of air wouldn't be bad. We're doing good. I'm going to clean this up too. There's all this dust in here. If this was heavier than this, I mean, this is dust. But if it was heavier than that, then I would probably use some kind of a degreaser that won't hurt plastic. And cleaned it up. And especially on this recoil, and that makes sure those parts are clean where they can move easily. So the coil, it mounts on here like this. And this wire, there's another wire right here. One of these bolts had a washer and one didn't. The other washer is this little plate. There's a little plate right here that's got the ground wire on it. It goes on the top, and that acts as the washer for the top one. So don't get those messed up. So once I have these in place, then I'm going to have to shim the coil away from the flywheel so it's not dragging on it. And they say use like a business card size thing. And I don't know if I have a business card here, but I'll look. I might have something that'll work in place on it. You can see right now it's pulling. It was pulling against it because of the magnet. So I went to the other side. Let me see what I got here. I'm using a piece of cardboard about the size of a business card, about the thickness of it. And I'm going to stick it between, I'll show you once let me get this in place. So here's the magnet, and this being red will be a lot easier to see. And here's your flywheel, and this is between them. And so what you do is you put that in there, that's going to give you just enough clearance, and then you can tighten this thing down. You just don't want you want it close, but you don't want to touch it. So right now, I thought I had it tightened down all the way, and because I'm just feeling resistance on these, that's why so I'm going to go down farther. I would say that there's probably some Loctite in there. That dried Loctite, that's what was giving me that false sense that there was something there. And it looks like we got a pretty even gap. If I could show you, it would look like probably about, well, let's look. I'll tell you. I think I got a tool over here we can show that. So I could use the micrometers, but this is what I have it in my hand. And let's make sure that it's set to inches. And there, if you can see it, and back up. That's the thickness of that. It's just enough clearance that it's not touching, but it's close enough that it's going to get a good magnetic field. That's probably not the most accurate way to do that, but it shows you what I was talking about. So, all right, we got that. Now we got to make sure this wire gets hooked up. Or it won't run. It might run, but it might not shut off. And then we got spark plug in place. We can put that on top. Might as well. Make sure everything else is working correctly when we put the cover back on. And don't force the cover. It falls in place. And if you notice, I've got this magnetic tray that I'm using. See how that works? How nice that works? You can put all your parts in there, the metal parts. That way you don't lose them. And also, you can actually organize the screws. Like these screws here are different than the ones that are holding the coil. I recognize them. I've done enough of this stuff that it looks like, well, that screw goes there. But sometimes you get screws that are different lengths, and you always want to make sure that you're putting the right. Don't put too long of a screw in a hole that doesn't fit. A short one will go in where it's not supposed to, but a long one too long, you might punch it through something, especially on aluminum. Now this is 2-cycle, which means that it fires. It doesn't have valves in it. It's got a piston acts as a valve, and so it actually fires every time the piston comes up to fire. I mean, it fires even on the. It even fires on the exhaust stroke. 2-cycles are designed that way. Pretty interesting difference between 2-cycle and 4-cycle. That's a whole another video. You can find lots of them talking about that. And then there's the rotary engine, which is even more unique. Then check the filter. Filter looks pretty good. I'll knock some of the dust off that, but overall it's fairly clean. That one I may take a little air to it. It doesn't look dirty, but I'll go ahead and blow it out anyways. Biggest thing, keep dirt out of these engines. It doesn't belong in there. We don't want it in there. Put the tools away so I can find them again. All right. I don't know if I fuel in it. We'll find out. Feels like it. Very little. Let's put a little fuel in. I think I've got that fuel sitting here somewhere. We'll put some STP 2-cycle fuel in there. I see they're selling that stuff by the gallon now. It always amazes me because what you're paying for a gallon of gas, just for convenience. All right. So you've got choke. Where's the on-off switch? Oh, right there. Stop. Stop is down. So this has got a unique thing on it. It's got you can put the throttle like a manual, and then you can push down, and pushing down is grounding out the switch, the coil. That little wire I put on there, that's what that was for. There you have it. So all that happened was that bolt came loose and broke that little piece of aluminum off. This little piece of aluminum, that's what jammed it up, and the bolt sticking up into the flywheel, the back of the flywheel. Now, is this going to throw it off a little bit? A small engine like this, probably not a lot. It's really, really light, and it was on the back. So I would say this is operational again. So if you like this video, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and watch some of the other stuff that I do. And thank you again for watching. Bye.